Hello everyone in the Monday night EDAP585 class. This is a makeup video for the horrendous issues we had last Monday with the Collaborate. So those of you who were in class via the Great Beyond, this is a makeup for you, but for those of you who are in class as well, this is a makeup with my apologies. I normally do not have problems with the Collaborate, but we sure did last week. So I'm going to try to basically go over the beginnings of what we were doing in class last week and help you see kind of the layout of what our work is going to be when I see you, not this Monday, but the following Monday. So let's go to that first course module. We are starting off with a book deconstruction of Dr. Michael Fullen's book, Stratosphere. And one of the things that I showed you was this PowerPoint, and I'm going to show it to you again. And I'm going to go ahead and let it, I'm going to show it to you at this level so that we don't have any problems with you seeing anything. And so basically what the point of Dr. Fullen's first chapter in the book is he sort of outlines what the rest of the book is about, but his main premise is understanding how we can teach in this very technological connected world that we teach within. And he tries to, within his book, to integrate the ideas of technology, pedagogy, and change knowledge. Now, if you look at this, this is why when you look in the second module, we talk about something called TPAC, because that's all about technology and pedagogy. But what Dr. Fullen really wants to focus on is change knowledge. How do we go about causing change? And his premise is this. Everywhere the technology has not played much of a role to this point, how can we explain, or this might explain, why we don't see top-end higher order skills not being covered? Because we don't give kids an opportunity to use an incredible, powerful tool to demonstrate their understandings using the higher order level skills that they have. He goes on in the book to describe something that we will read about, where he talks about that technology use and pedagogy should be irresistibly engaging. In other words, you just can't help but want to get involved with it. It should be elegantly efficient and easy to use. And we kind of made allusions to that when I talked about the skinny, which we'll be reading about. When we were in class, we were getting everybody set up in Edmodo. So what we've already done is we've gotten everybody all set. And we showed how we were going to use the Edmodo, and now we're ready to actually use it as a tool. This is where I get my term about the ubiquitous classroom. The classroom should not be within the four walls of your school alone. Now, I've also made a comment about if you're an elementary teacher, this may not look like the kind of thing that a high school teacher might create. Yours might be more directed toward parents so they can understand what's going on in your classroom. But I also would argue that people who teach the upper grades, 4th and 5th, would definitely want to take a look at developing this idea of the ubiquitous classroom. And the other thing that we just can't seem to get to is we need to be looking at, can we use technology for kids to do demonstrations of understandings of curriculum that is based in is based in real life problem solving. So I'm going to stop right there with this PowerPoint, because at this point this was where we were going to be talking about our schools and what we do. What we did next is we went in and we did a setup of what we are going to be using, and that is our Edmodo. Edmodo is a very simple online tool for teachers to use. It's used in lots of schools. It's used for homework assignments, where kids basically can turn in their assignment through an Edmodo site. It is used for supplemental material. It's used for review. It has a lot of teachers use it for formative assessment. In our case, we are going to basically use it as a place to land with our pictocharts that we're going to make. I'm not going to dwell on this because I think we got all this done on Monday about the Edmodo. But let me let you look at this one more time. You are going to be logging in as me. And the only reason why you do that is you have access to everything. And that is sbswan02 at louisville.edu. sbswan02 at louisville.edu with a password of all lowercase ULIT241. When we get in here, what you'll see is you have access to templates, either free or the pros, or you can just start from the beginning. Now, one of the things about using a template, of course, is as you look down through here, you might see a look or an idea that triggers you, because the assignment basically says, let's refer back to it. The assignment basically says that we are trying to distill our understandings of the first, or not the first, chapters 2 and 3 in the Stratosphere book. Okay? So, what we should be thinking about is, as we read, and we will read in class, we will be thinking about how can I visualize, illustrate the challenges that chapter 2 and 3 talks about. And these could be very specific because Mike talks about some very specific things. And so in that case, I might look through the infographics looking for something that is sort of a design that I could use. Let's look at this one. So this one says extrovert versus introvert, understanding the differences. So what I could do with this is I could click here, and I can change this word from extrovert to chapter 2, and then I could change this one to chapter 3. I could go up here and I could change the speech bubbles and the thought bubbles and put my own words in it. I could come down below . Now, then I can come here and I could start building my differences or my similarities or however I want to define these two chapters. That's what is so nice about using a theme, is everything is already here and you basically are just replacing the words. And the pictures, by the way. You can replace the pictures as well. I can come in here and I can double click on that picture and just delete it out. And then, of course, I come over here, and I can either use icons, and I can search, and I can put an icon in that I want to use. I can search photos that I might want to use. I can also search uploads. Now, the nice thing about uploads is this represents all the work that people who have been in this class have put in here. So there's lots and lots of pictures that in here that you might want to use. So see, I could bring this over. I could get rid of that. Move my picture in. Move my talk bubble in. And I can now add a piece of text in there. And I can have our little friend here who is looking not too thrilled about whatever it is he's got in front of him. So that could be one picture that would represent chapter 2 or 3. And then over here I can do the same thing. So as you can see, working with a theme is basically you putting your spin on what it's about. Now, it might not be a versus, it may be an A and D. You know, it could be that you're going to use the word and instead of versus. If I do that, I'm going to need to make my little box here a little bit bigger. And I can slide it up so it all fits in there nicely. There we go. So as you can see, I've already have started building my infographic. Now, one of the things that we need to make sure we do is we need to save it. And then when we're ready to add it to our Edmodo, we're going to share it. And it's going to want us to give it a name. Your name is just as good as anything. And I'm going to call it Chapter 2 and 3. And I'm going to export it out. Well, actually, I'm going to share it. Excuse me. We're going to make sure that it's published to public. And I'm going to say OK. And there it is. So here's the code. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that code to highlight it. And then I'm going to copy it. And then over in my Edmodo space, I'm going to have my post waiting for me. So I'm going to have to log into this as well. This is where my post is going to go. So I'm going to say this is my infographic about Chapter 2 and 3. This is where I'm going to put that link that I just copied. I'm going to paste it in right here. I'm going to attach it to my note. And then I'm going to send. Don't forget to send it. And when I do, it then will come in. Now, I don't understand why it's asking me to select recipients for your message. Because I am in here, it should just, well, let's go ahead and tell it that we are EDAP. Okay. It wants me to do that, I'll do that. And there we are. And so, as you can see, there's my post. Once I have it posted, I can go over here to this little drop-down chevron, and then I can click on Link the Post. And this is what will go into the live text. It's just this link. So in other words, I'll copy that link. It will show me what it's going to look like. And once I am over into live text, all I'm going to have to do is, for the assignment, is just paste it in. Now, sometimes live text understands when we put an URL into an assignment, in other words, an address, and other times it doesn't. I don't get upset if you just basically paste it in, because I can certainly click on it and do a right click on it and go in and tell it to open it a new link in the browser. So here I am. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to click on my edit button. There you go. And I'm going to paste it in there. Now that's all you have to do. It's just that easy. And then once I've pasted it in, I can save and submit the assignment. That's it. That's all there is to it. Okay? So I'll go ahead, I'm going to cancel that so I don't accidentally throw something into my live text that I don't want to be in there. So when I see you on the Monday after Labor Day, which will be the 12th, we will start reading our book, and then we will put together our first Pictochart that will be about chapters 2 and 3. And then when we meet again, we will do chapters 4 and 5. By the time we get to chapters 4 and 5, we will have understood the skinny of this assignment and the various tools that we need to know. And this will go very smoothly and very quickly, and then we can share. Okay, I will see you, not this Monday, but the Monday after.